Hello, you guys. This is Josh Vision, and I'm here to give my Vikings Season 5B Episode 15 review entitled Hell. I personally think, you guys, this is probably the best episode so far in Season 5B, and probably the third best episode, or at least the top three of all the episodes so far for Season 5. I really enjoyed it, like everything leading up to that big battle. I thought, when we think about Alfred's character, we're first introduced to Alfred's character literally as a baby, like the same episode as when Floki kills Athelstan and Athelstan finds his faith again. We see Alfred's character grow, see him come from basically being the baby, from being a little kid on the pilgrimage with Aethelwulf to Rome. Um, we have him basically being taught by Egbert on what it means to be a great king, how to be forgiving, but also think your own thoughts, never be influenced by anyone else. The whole thing with him and Ivar is weird, but like relationship is where they're playing chess because they're of like minds despite them being totally opposite. The thing about him becoming a king and him going against the church and the church's usual practices, trying to basically change the way the system goes. People looking at him as being weak and him having to basically learn how to become a strong king, warrior, and leader. And I thought this episode really showed that he's at that level now. You know what I mean? He's finally at the level he's supposed to be. In terms of like his rivalry with Ivar, because I think we all gotta be honest here. Alfred is the legacy of both, is the heir to both Athelstan and Egbert, and Ivar is the true Red Rider. It's not Bjorn, it's not Ube. Well, you can say Ube to a certain extent, but it's Ivar. Okay, and we all know at some point they're gonna clash, and when they do clash, they have to be on an equal playing field. So I thought this episode did a really good job of doing that. I love the scenes in which you have Alfred with his wife, you have Ube with Torvi begging Ube to, put his Viking armband back on for this battle, and Ube's like, listen, I don't think that's gonna help much as I have this cross on my neck, and she's like, well, for me, please. The conversation between Ube and Alfred, which Ube's like, listen, you're the king, stop having doubts, man up. I believe in you. Your people believes in you. Prove those doubters wrong. Prove them that you're worthy of the crown. I also love the scene with Alfred, his brother, and Judith. Oh, Judith. I almost said Judas. With Judith, and she's basically saying like, listen, protect one another as brothers should. And I love you. Have the thing with, and I also believe there was a scene with Bishop Hegman and Laggett that was really good. Because if my memory serves me right, I don't know if this happened in the beginning of this episode or late last episode, but remember Bishop Hegman had a vision of hell. And that vision was so traumatic to him, he told Laggett, I can't see you anymore. God doesn't like the fact that I'm dealing with the heathen. And despite how much I love you, I love God more. And it was just heartbreaking because you could tell he must have been scared crapless. Because Bishop Hegman is rarely scared. He's like the Christian version of Ivar, but for him to like be in that emotional state and be that look of fear on his face, it was just like wow. And the fact when Laggett was like, you know what? I don't think you ever loved me. I think you only loved your God and yourself. Adding more, sand to the wounds. But despite that, the whole thing with Magnus telling King Finehair the whole position of the Wessex army, Finehair realizing that Ube duped him by basically asking him how much money or gold and silver and weight that they wanted. That was just a ploy to find out like where the position of the army was so they could move around the planks. I thought that was good, but that battle scene was very, very intense, and the music did a really good job to add to it. I love the deer showing up, and the deer being a symbol of Christ, and that the only two people that knows the deer was King Alfred and Bishop Hegman. And I loved how you have Alfred's face in blood, like talking about the battle, with these quick scenes here, and him going more and more and more about what happened, all the details and all that stuff. The battle was crazy. I love how Ube used the catapults and just and the fire just surrounded, you know, like both sides. You know, basically like in a way it's kind of like y'all Vikings ain't going anywhere. We're about to just battle this out and let the best army, you know, stand, be left standing. And Ube was a beast in this battle. Bjorn, as usual, Lactha being her usual self, Bishop Hegman, Tori, everyone put in work in this episode. And I thought Bishop Hegman's scene was like really, I was like, dang. Like the way he died like a gangster, but like, I just felt his death was kind of cheap in a way. Even though he took like 7, 8 arrows, you know what I mean? It's like, and he's still breathing. And part of the reason why I think he died because once again I think he just got so entranced by how great a warrior Lactha is and her beauty. You know what I mean? And how much he loved her because and during the battle there's plenty of times when you see Lactha looking over or what's happening with Hegman looking over what you know with how Lactha was doing. And the fact that he died like in the like being stabbed basically in the back by Gunhild, I thought, you know, that was kind of a cheap way for him to die. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I feel. And it's clear that Lactha was like destroyed by his death. I thought I was impressed with that Gunhild actually was able to cut Bjorn his eye because remember, Bjorn is Ironside for a reason. He's never been touched in battle. And just the fact that she's able to do that gives her a lot of like props, you know, and build when it comes to her because that never happens. I loved how Alfred was fighting really well. He killed a few guys and how his brother saved him. I also loved how after the battle when, you know, the Saxons won, Alfred's talking about how this victory wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the efforts of the Northmen and Bishop Hegman. And we see Bishop Hegman's body, you know, basically covered with the Wessex flag, and they're giving him his just due for all like his contributions. What else happened this episode? Oh, the whole thing with Ivar. That's gonna be the last one I'm talking about for this review. I really found it interesting just how traumatized and how guilty Ivar felt after killing the seer. It kind of reminded me about the time when he actually killed Sigurd. You know, it's kind of similar because it's like once again Ivar let his anger and his temper get the better of him. And once again, it's like when he does let his anger and his temper get the better of him, it seemed like he doesn't really pay any consequences, honestly. Like, even with the seer, like as soon as he killed the seer, he has his main guys, you know, take the body and burn it. And he acts like he had nothing to do with it. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys. We had a great loss. I swear to you, we're going to find the murderer. And he's like so charismatic, you know, and so believable. And the way he talks, the way he goes about things, that he's able to convince these people. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I find very interesting about Ivar. It's clear that people hate Ivar, but at the same time, it's like they love him. It's like they have this mixed feeling towards Ivar. Despite he does atrocious like crap, he's so charismatic and he's clearly has leadership skills, which I think Ube lacks and Visick lacks, and even to a certain extent Bjorn lacks. I just think that with Ivar, like always, he doesn't have control. He hasn't grown up enough to have the control that those three have. And I think even Visick, when he's watching it, he's like, yo, this dude does the most ridiculous things, but God, is he good. He just looking at Ivar like they look like this dude is good. He can tell a lie and not even be phased. These people buy this crap, you know? And I also like the scene like when Visick tells Ivar, yo, what happened to the seer? And Ivar's like, listen, you're not a god, I'm a god. Okay, let me worry about that. And Visick looks at Ivar and he's like, listen, I know you did, Ivar. I know. And the look on Ivar's face is just like he doesn't know how to deal with Visick anymore. You know what I mean? It's like when Ivar doesn't have control, he's like a little child. You know? So I'm curious what Ivar's going to do with Visick. Is she going to try to kill Visick? Is there going to be like a fight scene between them next episode? I don't know. But I love this episode, you guys. I love the fact that Alfred led his men, you know, into battle and they were successful. But I'm also kind of scared for his brother because remember, Judith, while torturing one of the traitors, was told that Aethelred was part of the conspiracy to kill Alfred. And Alfred's response when he found out was like, oh crap. So I'm interested about that. What do you guys think? Write your comments down below. Oh, and by the way, Lagtha's gone. So no one knows where Lagtha's at. I'll tell you what, I know she's not dead. She's too much of an important character. She ain't dead. I wonder who has her. Is it fine here? Who knows? But once again, adios. Have a nice one, you guys.